All right, I just grabbed the parcel. I'll look into it later. The way that I do that is I use Landglide. So I use Landglide in order to kind of track where I'm at and grab the parcel owner's information, just the basics, and then that'll allow me to go and do a deep dive into it after the fact, a little further down, and kind of go from there. So when I get back home, I can look into it a little bit more. But I mean, look, this looks like a great area to try and invest and build property. I mean, I'm about to drive by one, and I'm gonna stop and show you guys that they've got it framed for the most part, all the way up. It looks like it's gonna be a gorgeous house, but again, I mean, look at that. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for, is to try and get something like this going sooner than later. And I know that these properties are expensive. The type of people who move out here are going to be people with money, which typically it's either going to be a boomer or somebody who, I don't know, a doctor, a lawyer, where the degrees actually kind of start to generate money. Because if you're going to school for like psychology, I don't think that's going to do too much. But look, right on the other side of the house, and not to bash psychologists, I'm sure that there's some great ones out there who make money, but I feel like the field is a little flooded. But this house right here is on the market for sale, so this is one to use for some sort of reference or a comp. Looks like there's quite a bit more areas to build out here, plots of land and whatnot to purchase and negotiate. Maybe even try and wholesale to one of the other developers or builders out here. I don't know what a view that is. It's like a couple 100-foot drop, but over here and all these hills and everything, just gorgeous. So people are moving out here to be a little bit segregated from the city, but also the views and whatnot. It's very hard. I mean, people are normally only out here if they have a reason to be out here. So, but there's still plenty of land out here to be able to develop on. Look, this one even still has the hookups right here. All utilities right here at the street. That is crazy. So this one right here would be a good area to try and build. There's a fire hydrant right there. Pull them underneath the road, maybe. I've got the address over here. I could just look into it here in a bit when I get home. But yeah, it's a lot of money to be made in real estate. It's where most millionaires start. I forget what it is. I forget what the statistics are, but I think it's 90% of millionaires, 92% of millionaires are originated from real estate. And the reason that is because you're able to compound it. You can start with one, and from there do 2, 3, 4. If you have the ability to buy a fourplex and live in one unit, rent the other 3 out, it's a great way to start, because you can still get a traditional mortgage, and then you have rental income that's covering the mortgage, and one that's going to be giving you all the rest. I mean, just profit, and then you can put that towards another property. So definitely able to compound and build wealth that way. There's a lot of ways to make money in real estate, right? You could be a contractor. You can be those are beautiful. You can be a contractor. You can start with wholesaling. You don't need a license to wholesale in most states. At least not in my state, you don't. Right? You don't necessarily need access to MLS. You may not have the right numbers all the time, but you could be relatively close if you're conservative with the comps in the area, and kind of go from there. Use that in order to build something up that's going to be able to give you your startup money to start whatever other business that you're wanting to do. You could become a real estate agent. Now, most real estate agents don't typically grow too much. They don't want to put in the work, and it's probably why a lot of wholesalers fell too. But at least with wholesaling, the list that you're targeting are, actual distressed properties. You're looking for people who are actually interested and motivated to sell. So there's quite a big curve there on the amount of money you're able to make. And for us, we do maybe a minimum of 30 grand that we're looking to get per wholesale, or we do something where it's some sort of partnership, or maybe it's a fix and flip. Haven't done any rentals. I myself haven't, and I'm kind of interested, but right now I want to kind of get the building down. And again, just out here looking at lots and seeing if I could find any decent ones. A lot of this has already been built up in these neighborhoods. I imagine the HOAs are probably a couple $100, but here's another lot right here, right? Completely, it needs to be cleared. It's got trees everywhere and whatnot. It's a corner lot, but it's a great little area, right? And based on how close they have all the other properties, I imagine this one will fit right in with getting something built. So I'll be right back.